Hey fellow hunters, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're deep diving into a complete guide for the Survival Hunter class in World of Warcraft The War Within Season 2, Patch 11.1. Whether you're looking to absolutely dominate in Mythic Plus dungeons, smash those raid encounters, or just get a bit better at survival itself, I'll have everything you need to know to become a top tier Survival Hunter. We'll cover everything from talents, rotations, gear, pet combinations, AoE versus single target builds, and even a few small tips and tricks from myself to elevate your gameplay. So without further ado, let's get straight into the talents and what makes Survival Hunter these explosive maniacs so good to play. So for the hero talent we'll be choosing, it will be Sentinel. There is buffs coming out for pack leader on reset, so it will be tomorrow my time. That is buffing a few things by about 40%, which it does look competitive in single target, but it is not competitive in Mythic Plus. So we'll go over Sentinel first. Now I won't be going over every single ability that Survival Hunter has, but I will be going over the main ones that do affect your gameplay and the ones that you will have to keep track of to have optimal damage in your rotation. So the first ability we have to talk about is Lunar Storm, the capstone of Sentinel. Everything else in Sentinel is passive, so you don't actually have to worry about it too much, but Lunar Storm you have to pay a lot of attention to. It's a 30-second cooldown that only procs with Wildfire Bomb, and if you don't have Wildfire Bomb procs when this is up, you're going to be missing uptime on this. It is extremely important. So the best way to think about it, if you have 7 seconds less to go on Lunar Storm, it's counting down from 7 seconds, and you have a Wildfire Bomb active, keep one stack of it, because if you use a stack and this doesn't go off as it procs, then you're in a world of trouble. So we'll jump straight over to the Hunter tree. The one that I want to talk about here is Tar-Coated Bindings. Pretty misforgotten spell, but it's actually amazing for proccing with Binding Shot and Implosive Trap at the same time, giving your Binding Shot a 3-second stun. So really good for those mobs, especially in high keys, if you need a stop really quickly and effectively. We've got Trailblazer, of course. This isn't a combat spell, but it actually out of combat makes you move 30% faster, so amazing for world content and leveling up characters. So once you're out of combat, make sure to put this one on. Now Bursting Shot is actually really good in some dungeons and some enemy mobs, so it's very scary to use because you don't want to be knocking people all over the place. The tank will hate you for it, but there are certain mobs that jump out of packs, and I'll show a few here where you can actually jump out, help your team, knock them back into the mobs, and away you go. So next up we'll talk about Kodo Tranquilizer. So Tranquilizing Shot is really important, especially on high keys. You get rid of enrages, you get rid of the lightning buff that they have at the start of Rookery, and this allows you to take 3 off at the same time. Must have, remember to use it, your team will love you for it. So next up, Implosive Trap. Phenomenal ability, our major stop, and if you, like we talked about before with our Tar-Coated Bindings, with your Binding Shot, you put your Binding Shot down first, you put your Implosive Trap, knocks them up, 3-second stun, they can't do anything about it. It's amazing, you should do this every time, so always keep the cooldown for Binding Shot and use these together. So we'll jump over to the survival tree. We'll start with Grenade Juggler. This one is one we'll talk about later in rotations, but it is important to keep in the back of your mind at all times. So you just want to be using Explosive Shot before your Wildfire Bombs because you have a chance to reset your Explosive Shot. So we'll jump up to Sulfur Line Pockets. This is a really cool ability. The cool thing about Survival Hunters is you can swap it between about 3 or 4 abilities that all do the same amount of sort of damage, just depending on what gameplay or dungeon you want to run it in. So this one, every 3 quick shots replaces Explosive Shot at 100% effectiveness. So the best thing about Explosive Shot is uncapped AoE, and when it hits an Explosive Shot that's already on the target, it explodes instantly, so massive damage. If you're using Kill Command a lot, this is a really good one to have it in. So Wildfire Arsenal works a little bit like our tier set, so you just stack up quick shots and auto attacks that increases the damage of your Wildfire Bomb stacking up a few times. Really good to have. This is usually the default pick. Next up we'll look at Mongoose Bites. So regarded to only be taken in single target fights like raiding, but I usually take it in Theatre of Pain, and if I want massive boss damage I'll be taking this in higher keys. It stacks up superbly, and with the tier set you'll be hitting 15 million to 20 million Mongoose Bites every hit, which is absolutely nuts. So we'll jump down to Fury of the Eagle. This is our main damage cooldown. This is my favourite ability in the whole game. So it got increased to 8 targets, was 5, gives you critical strike chance depending on the enemy's health, and after it gives you a nice haste buff and has chance to replenish tip of the spears, which we'll talk about later. So Coordinated Assault, this is our main damage cooldown, nothing too fancy, sends us to the target that we're facing, and we do a bit of damage when we hit them and increases all our damage by 20%. It's the capstones below that make this thing go crazy. So the capstone below we'll be taking for Mythic Plus is Symbiotic Adrenaline. This is amazing, it reduces a Coordinated Assault's cooldown by 60 seconds and grants on cast 3 stacks of Tip of the Spear, which we'll talk about how important Tip of the Spear is later. Pairing this with the Sentinel tree, your main cooldown is significantly reduced and you'll be casting your cooldowns on rotation very quickly. So the last capstone we want to look at is Bombardier for Mythic Plus. This thing is absolutely insane, and when used correctly it does absolutely bonkers damage. So when your main cooldown ends, you will send out with Explosive Shot, it will send out 2 more, so you get 3 explosive shots, all uncapped AoE. When this procs with Tip of the Spear active, so you get 15% more damage on every single one of them, your damage meter will fucking skyrocket. Alright, now over to the single target build. We start off by changing Butchery to Flanking Strike, which is a really strong ability. It also grants you 2 Tip of the Spears, it also takes 1, so you need to have 1 Tip of the Spear active, use it, it'll get the 15% damage amp plus extra because of the ability itself, and then it will grant you 2 more Tip of the Spears to use other abilities afterwards, so using this in the correct spot is very important. So the capstone that we take for single target is Relentless Primal Ferocity, or RPF is what people call it. So this is a massive damage amp and also a Tip of the Spear generator. So using this correctly and not wasting Tip of the Spears or kill commands, because kill command gives you 2 extra Tip of the Spears for this, so you'll be drowning in Tip of the Spears, which is a good thing. You just want to make sure that you use them all correct. So our other single target cooldown is Spearhead with its capstone Deadly Duo, which reduces the cooldown of this. This is a massive bleed, so every time you use an ability for the next 10 seconds, it will bleed out. So using this in the correct spot in your rotation is extremely important. So now we'll jump into Pack Leader. It just received buffs on reset and is actually performing better in single target and AoE. So we'll go through Pack Leader now. So every 20 seconds when you kill command, you'll summon a wyvern, boar, or a bear. This is reduced by 2 seconds every time you kill command. This gives you amazing damage and buffs every time one of these pets come out. So the wyvern gives you a flat 15% plus 5% with capstones, 20% damage for 15 seconds. The boar does massive AoE damage running through each other, and the bear jumps down, inflicting a huge dot on the enemy, doing most of your damage in AoE. So just down below, Pack Mentality, it grants you an extra Tip of the Spear every time you kill command, and summoning a beast will reduce the cooldown of Wildfire Bomb by 10 seconds, so massive cooldown for this and really good for keeping your rotations on cooldown. So Ursun's Fury, so your bear, so your third pet, has the chance to reduce your Butchery or Flanking Strike by 2 seconds, so your Butchery will be off cooldown in AoE constantly, which is a huge buff as you'll be putting merciless blows on every enemy constantly. So we'll jump over to Hogstrider. So this allows you to take Mongoose Bite in your AoE rotation and actually increasing your Mongoose Bite's potential and resetting the stacks on this so you can have it up much longer. So your single target and AoE pools will be doing a lot of damage with Mongoose Bite. Don't forget to be using this in and out of your rotation. And then down to the capstone of the hero talent, Lead from the Front. So this is just a coordinated assault. It grants you an extra damage buff, grants you Howl of the Pack, and your pet and your extra pets will be doing 25% more damage. The only changes here for single target in the hero talents is Venom Fangs, so your bear will be proccing your Serpent Sting instantly and spreading to nearby targets. So single target rotation for Pack Leader, so we'll start by Hunter's Mark on a priority target, 2 seconds before pull Explosive Shot, Mongoose Bite to apply Serpent Sting, Kill Command to apply Howl of the Pack, Coordinated Assault into Spearhead, into Flanking Strike to utilize your Kill Command, Double Bomb, Kill Command. Every time you have Howl of the Pack up, use your Kill Command, so that'll vary on every pull, and then dump all of your extra focus into Mongoose Bite. So for the AoE rotation, we'll be doing Hunter's Mark on Prio target, Kill Command, we want Howl of the Pack out early, we want to stack up our Tip of the Spears, into Explosive Shot, double Wildfire Bomb, into Butchery to get merciless blows out, then use Coordinated Assault, then use your remaining Wildfire Bomb, then Tip of the Spear, Fury the Eagle to get your haste buff and the most damage out of this cooldown, then Mongoose Bite twice to spread all of your Serpent Stings. So I'll just go over focus briefly. This is just our resource for hunters. The generators that we're going to be using is Kill Command, then we have Wildfire Bomb, Raptor Strike, Butchery and Kill Shot for our spenders. Now, let's go over tip of the spear priority and what is tip of the spear. So every time we use kill command, which is our focus generator, it increases the direct damage for your next or other spells by 15%, stacking up to 3 times. So with tip of the spear in mind, you will want to be rotating kill commands with your other abilities to get the 15% damage amp on them. So first priority is Wildfire Bomb and Fury of the Eagle, Explosive Shot and single target only Flanking Strike. For these abilities, we always want to have them up, few exceptions at the start of a boss fight, which I'll talk about later. On 2, we don't usually use Butchery with the tip of the spear proc. It does a lot of damage in AoE, but the bleed from Merciless Blows doesn't affect it from the 15% damage amp, so this is why we isn't priority 1. Raptor Strike, same as Mongoose Bite, single target only. Kill Shot, you'd only use this on a single target if you had nothing else to use. So let's jump into the rotation. We'll start with single target. We always start with 2 seconds to pull on the pull timer with an explosive shot, so we want to proc Grenade Juggler if we can to get more explosive shots in the future. Next, we'll use double Wildfire Bomb to get our Lunar Storm out. We don't tip of the spear these, so before I was talking about there is an exception at the start of a boss fight, we want to get Lunar Storm out as soon as possible. So we want to use a kill command to get 1 stack of tip of the spear, then into our damage amp, Coordinated Assault, into Spearhead our bleed, into Flanking Strike. This is very important to have this 1 kill command because it gives us a tip of the spear for Flanking Strike to use, but also replenishes 2 more, so it's a 2-for-1 deal. We do another Wildfire Bomb and then explode everything into your Mongoose Bites, and you might even get the tier set proc, which you'll be hitting 15 to 20 million damage procs. So we'll jump into the AoE rotation. So we want to start with the Explosive Shot as usual for Grenade Juggler, 2 Wildfire Bombs. We'll do a Butchery to get your bleed out straight away, Coordinated Assault, Wildfire Bomb, Explosive Shot, dump all your damage straight into Fury of the Eagle. It'll get your haste buff, and then you use a kill command, Explosive Shot, or Wildfire Bomb, and just follow the rotation of tip the spear priority. So for our stats with Sentinel, we want to go item level over everything. We want to go Mastery, Critical Strike, Haste, and Versatility. Remember to use raid bots to sim your character to get the correct damage amp for you. Pack Leader will be using item level above all, Mastery, Haste, Crit, and Versatility. Again, use raid bots to sim your character to get the correct values. So for the consumables we want to use, we're using Flask of Alchemical Chaos, a Tempered Potion, Ironclaw Whetstones or the Elgari Mana Oil, and a Stormbound Armor Kit for your leg set. So the enchants that we'll be picking up for our Survival Hunter, for pure single target on our weapon, will be going Authority of the Depths. If you want a more all-rounder, if you're doing Mythic Plus and Raiding, Authority of the Radiant Power is great, and that's what I use. The rest, just attach them to your armor pieces. So regarding pet selection, all pets do the same amount of damage, but they do have different pet families in Cunning, Ferocity, and Tenacity. Cunning used for PvE, more of a movement speed ability family. Ferocity gives you a Bloodlust and Leech, and Tenacity gives you HP and a defensive ability. So depending on what your group needs, choose between these. So we'll go over a few tips and tricks. So as mentioned before, we want to do our Binding Shot into Implosive Trap to get the best bang for buck out of our stun. Also play around and practice with your other traps, including ice traps. These things can be absolutely clutch in moments like these.
I got ice trap. Oh dude, that ice trap was insane.
Dude, how did you just get that off with 17 mobs there?
Remember, Feign Death is one of the strongest abilities in the game. Anything targeting you directly, you can Feign Death. Just in like this clip here, you can see my health plummeting. Feign Death gets me out of it easy peasy. There are multiple different mobs like this, few in Motherlode, the Rookery, and Pride of the Sacred Flame. I will just display my character here so everyone can see my gear, my stats, and my embellishments. So I think that pretty much covers everything you need to know about Survival Hunter or getting into Survival Hunter. I hope this has made it easy for you to try it for the first time or return to it, as it's not very loved much more, and that makes me sad because it's such an awesome spec in the Hunter class. It's overshadowed by Marksmanship and Beast Mastery, but give a little love to Survival Hunter, come on, we're exploding maniacs, what's not to love? If you liked the video today, consider subscribing, leave a like, and comment what your favourite class in World of Warcraft is for Season 2, and I'll see you next time.